Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing well, thanks for asking. Today I learned about the BEX index.
Glad to hear you're doing well. Beck's Index, huh? That's interesting. It's actually a measure used to assess the severity of depression. It's based on the Beck Depression Inventory, BDI, which is a set of questions designed to measure how someone feels in terms of their mood, behavior, and physical symptoms related to depression. Are you learning it for personal interest, or is it for a particular class or study?
Yeah, I wanna invest some stocks, so I learned about it.
You're looking into stocks, and maybe you came across Beck's index in the context of market sentiment or economic indicators. It sounds like you're preparing to invest, which is exciting. If you're interested in stock investing, there are a lot of different metrics and indices to understand, from financial ratios like PE ratio to broader market indices like the S&P 500. Do you have any specific companies or sectors in mind, or are you just getting started with learning about stock investment strategies?
I will invest S&P and but these days the price.
Nice choice. The S&P 500 is often a great option for investors looking for long-term growth. It's a broad index that represents 500 of the largest publicly traded companies in the US, so it offers diversification without having to pick individual stocks. Are you also considering any other types of investments, like individual stocks, ETFs, or perhaps even some international options? It might be good to mix things up based on your goals and risk tolerance.
These days, the price of stocks are going down, so I wonder when is the best time to invest S&P.
That's a great question. The stock market can be volatile, and prices often go through ups and downs. Timing the market perfectly is tricky, but there are a few strategies you can consider to help decide when to invest in the S&P 500. 1. Dollar cost averaging, DCA. This strategy involves investing a fixed amount of money at regular intervals, regardless of market conditions. It smooths out the risk and ensures you're buying at different price points, which can reduce the impact of short-term market drops. 2. Long-term focus. If you're planning to hold your investment for the long term, short-term dips might not matter as much. Historically, the S&P 500 has shown growth over long periods, even after significant downturns. Investing now, even during a dip, can be a good move if you don't need the money in the short term. 3. Look for market cycles. If you're looking for opportunities, consider buying when the market has had a significant drop, a correction or bear market, as these can present discounted prices for quality assets. However, predicting the exact timing of market recoveries is difficult. 4. Market sentiment and indicators. You could look at indicators like the price to earnings PE ratio for the S&P 500 to assess whether the market seems overvalued or undervalued. A lower PE ratio might suggest better value. Ultimately, if you're in it for the long haul, waiting for the perfect time might mean missing out on potential growth. If you're unsure, you might start with a small investment to test the waters, then increase it gradually. Are you thinking of using any of these strategies, or do you have another approach in mind?
Today's BEX index, the number of BEX index is 34. Is it high? Isn't it? 調べてる。ダメだ。なんかバッドコネクションですね。ずっとこんな感じです。はい。Hey GPT, Hey GPT, are you listening?
Hey, yes, I'm here and listening. What's on your mind?
As I want to improve my ability to explain something, so could you give me some question like what is a tariff or who is Donald Trump president, like that?
Great. Here are some questions that you can practice explaining. 1. What is the S&P 500? 2. Who was the first person to walk on the moon? 3. What is the difference between a democracy and a republic? 4. What is global warming? 5. Who is Elon Musk and what is he known for? 6. What does the term inflation mean? 7. What is blockchain technology? 8. Who is the current president of the United States? 9. What is the purpose of the United Nations? Feel free to pick one and give it a try. I can help you fine-tune your explanation after you've had a go.
S&P 500 is a stock, and it is you can buy 500 companies stock because the product is made of the stock of 500 companies in America. So, yeah.
You're on the right track. Let me help you refine your explanation a bit. The S&P 500 is an index, not a single stock. It's a collection of 500 of the largest publicly traded companies in the United States. These companies represent a wide range of industries, like technology, healthcare, finance, and more. When people invest in the S&P 500, they're essentially investing in a portion of all 500 companies in the index. You can invest in the index through ETFs, exchange-traded funds, or mutual funds that track the S&P 500. So while it's not a single stock, it allows you to invest in a broad set of leading US companies at once. Does that make sense? You can keep practicing with this explanation, or if you want to try another question, I'm happy to help.
I want to try again. S&P is the index, and you can buy the 500 company that lead American economics, and in this in S&P 500 there are many companies that 上場してる and the 業界 the industry is various. For example, medicine, merchandise, medicine, logistics, and
You're doing great. You're capturing the key idea, but let's tweak it a bit to make it smoother. The S&P 500 is an index, not a single stock, and it includes 500 of the most influential companies in the United States. These companies are leaders in various industries such as technology, healthcare, finance, retail, and logistics. When you invest in the S&P 500, You're not buying the stock of just one company, but rather a small portion of each of the 500 companies in the index, giving you exposure to a diverse range of sectors. So the S&P 500 is a great way to invest in a broad slice of the US economy. How does that sound? Let me know if you'd like to refine it further or practice with another topic.
I want to learn again. S&P is index, not stock. You can buy a small portion of stock of 500 companies that have an influence to American economics. Like the companies are various. For example, medicine, logistics, technologies, like that. And you can リスクを低く抑えられる。You can lower the risk compared to individual stock.
You're getting close, but I think you might have mixed up a few concepts. Let me help clarify and refine it. The S&P 500 is not a single stock, but an index. It tracks the performance of 500 large and influential companies in the United States, spanning various industries like medicine, logistics, technology, and many others. When you invest in the S&P 500, you're not buying stock in the index itself. Instead, you're buying shares of funds like ETFs, exchange-traded funds, that track the index. This gives you exposure to all 500 companies in the index at once. By investing in the S&P 500, you spread your investment across a wide range of companies, which can lower the risk compared to buying individual stocks. This is because the performance of one company won't have as big an impact on your investment as it would if you were only investing in that single stock. How's that? Does it feel clearer now?
Yeah.
No worries. I know it can be a bit tricky at first. Let me break it down in a simpler way. The S&P 500 is an
Okay.
index.
ちょっともう一度読み上げます。忘れちゃったんで。This S&P 500 is an index, not a stock. It tracks 500 big companies in the US across different different industries like medicine, technology, and logistics. When you invest in something like an S&P 500 ETF, you are buying a tiny piece of each of these 500 companies. The main benefit is that you are diversifying your investment. どういう意味なんだろう diversify っていろいろあるってことかな。分散する。The main benefit is that you are diversifying your investment instead of putting all your money in one company, which can be risky. You spread it across many, which can reduce the overall risk. Hold on. もう一度いきます。The S&P 500 is an index, not a stock. It tracks track 動詞のトラック麻薬The S&P 500 tracks the performance of 500 companies. で、 S&P は500社のパフォーマンスを追跡してるって意味。The S&P 500 is an index, not a stock. It tracks 500 big companies in the US across different industries like medicine, technology, and logistics. When you invest in something like an S&P 500 ETF, you are buying a tiny piece of each of these 500 companies. The main benefit is that you are diversifying your investment instead of putting all your money in one company, which can be risky. You spread it across many, which can reduce the overall risk. うん。OK。もう一度いきます。The S&P 500 is an index, not a stock. It tracks 500 big companies in the US across different industries like medicine, technology, and logistics. When you invest in something like an S&P 500 ETF, you are buying a tiny piece of each of these 500 companies. The main benefit is that you are diversifying your investment instead of putting all your money in one company, which can be risky. You spread it across many, which can reduce the overall risk. Hey GPT,
Hey, what's up?
I will explain S&P 500. So if I make a mistake in my English, please point it out. So let me explain that. S&P 500 is not the stock, but index.
Sure, go ahead. I'll be here to help with any corrections if needed. Keep going.
S&P 500 is not a stock, but index. The S&P 500 is include big influential companies uh, uh, like logistics, medicine, and technologies. The main characteristics is that you can buy a tiny part of stocks of 500 companies. The main benefit is that you can diversify your investment compared to buying one company's stock.
Great job. Your explanation is clear, but I'll point out a few small improvements to make it even smoother. 1. The main characteristics should be. The main characteristic is, because characteristics is plural, but you're referring to a single key feature. 2. You might want to say the main benefit is that you can diversify your investment compared to buying stocks in just one company. This makes it a little clearer. Here's a refined version. The S&P 500 is not a stock, but an index. It includes big influential companies from sectors like logistics, medicine, and technology. The main characteristic is that you can buy a small portion of the stocks of 500 companies. The main benefit is that you can diversify your investment compared to buying stocks in just one company. Your explanation was really good, though. Keep it up. Would you like to try another topic?
もう一度聞きます。The S&P 500 is not a stock but an index. It includes big influential companies from sectors like logistics, medicine, and technology. The main characteristic is that you can buy a small portion of the stocks of 500 companies. The main benefit is that you can diversify your investment compared to buying stocks in just one company. Can diversify your investment compared to buying stocks in just one company. The S&P 500 is a stock. もともとは、The S&P 500 is an index, not a stock. It tracks 500 big companies in the US across different industries like medicine, technology, and logistics. When you invest in something like an S&P 500 ETF, you are buying a tiny piece of each of these 500 companies. The main benefit is that you diversify your investment. Instead of putting all your money in one company, you spread it across many, which can reduce the overall risk. で、もっとシンプルバージョンが The S&P 500 is not a stock but an index. It includes big influential companies from sectors like logistics, medicine, and technology. The main characteristic is that you can buy a small portion of the stocks in 500 companies. The main benefit is that you can diversify your investment compared to buying stocks in just one company. Buy stocks in just one company. Okay. Bye.